name is Divested Puppet, and I want to talk about this raggedy-ass dating show called Married at First Sight, where two strangers who've never even seen each other's faces decide to get married. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let me marry a stranger that I've never even seen before. What if you end up getting an ugly wife or a husband, okay? Then you send them on back. Like, I didn't order that. I want a refund. On top of that, too, shit, I need to see somebody's face, okay? I'm not trying to marry a whole hobgoblin. But before we get started, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more content below. Okay, now we can get started. For those who are not familiar with this reality TV show, Married at First Sight, experts pair up two strangers that they feel are the most compatible, and they actually get married, okay? These marriages are not fake. These are real marriages, okay? And to me, it's, look at him. I need to start putting some warning labels every time these Dusty's faces pop up, okay? It was like a damn jump scare. I was like, oh, what? What? Marriage at first sight. I'm about to go blind at first sight. I'm legally blind. You know that these Dusties are taking major L's when they sitting online having to fabricate L's for divestors, and we're the ones who have been with our non-black men for decades. Meanwhile, their marriages ain't even lasting a couple of days, even when experts pair them up. And also, you know that they're taking major L's when you see more and more Brads checking their asses online, okay? This YouTuber of the name The Quick Slice made this video titled, "This Marriage is Absolutely Painful to Watch," and it's sitting at 200,000 views and has only been posted 2 days ago. So this is a large content creator calling out these dusty black males and their poor treatment of black women, and I'm down for it, okay? I'm all for it. So let's take a look at this video and see why this couple failed miserably, even though they had experts matching them up.
I really do hope that she is the woman that I prayed for.
I can most guarantee that this is what he was looking for when he was praying for a wife, right? He was not looking for no black woman. No, he wanted a Latina. You remember when these illiterate, slow IQ niggers learned the word Latina and they just kept saying it over and over again like that was kryptonite to black women? I want a Latina.
But I'm afraid that she could possibly be unattractive. I have to have that initial attraction. That's important for me.
I'm so sick and tired of these Star Trek, Cleon, forehead looking ass Dusties sitting online talking about they want the perfect woman. Like, sir, you need to work on yourself, okay? Your below average looking ass. I'm sick of this shit, okay? Y'all modern black males are delusional. Should be glad anybody wants your ass.
Chris, meet for the very first time, Paige.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sir, why are you giggling like a little schoolgirl? Your daughter is about to marry a high-value Dusty. That ain't nothing to be happy about.
Chris, Paige's family and friends would like you to know a few things about Paige. Paige is Paige.
Huh, well that tells us a lot.
Which one of you illiterate Dusties wrote this wedding speech?
She is a risk taker, and so far, it's paid off.
He's like, ah, cool, something I can ruin.
I find it quite interesting that this Brad has only been reviewing this video for a couple of seconds, and he's already talking about how these dust buckets enjoy ruining successful and beautiful black women, which I strongly agree.
Paige, there are some things that Chris's family and friends want you to know about him. He's well on his way to building an empire.
All right, right away, you'll notice there's going to be a lot of empire talk. You know, he's like obsessed with building an empire. And of course, when asked about it, it's always super vague. I don't know what the hell he does. It's like, I'm an empire guy. I'm in the business of empires. I build them. Take it easy, Darth Vader.
Them raggedy bitches ain't got no damn empire, okay? If you think sitting at your mammy's house and keeping a smart mouth while you watch the show Empire is supposed to teach you how to build an empire, you are sadly mistaken, because the only thing you building is dust. Crunchy, ashy bitches don't know how to build good credit, let alone how to build an empire, okay?
Chris likes nice things, which means tailored suits,
Okay.
name brand shoes,
Non-fungible tokens.
clothing, luxury car. You get the point.
Right.
But also, he wants to make sure that you don't just like him for these things, even though they're one of the first things he mentions when it comes to his personality. When they introduced Chris, he said that he was tired of dating women that only cared about his money, but then that's like all he talks about, and it's the first thing that he goes to.
Didn't you just sit up here saying that you didn't want a gold digger? So why are you sitting up here bragging about all the money, houses, and cars you got? These modern black men have very low IQ levels and don't know what a contradiction is, okay? That is why they are constantly contradicting themselves. Look how they sit their asses online calling themselves kings. We was kings and shit, and y'all don't even have no kingdom, and you're sitting up here relishing in slavery, talking about the white man done stole this and done did that. It's like, wait a minute, are you conquered or are you kings? Because you certainly cannot be both, because that's a contradiction. Another example is when they sit their asses up here going Black Lives Matter and then turn around stealing, burning, and looting their own communities, okay? How are you showing that Black Lives Matter by doing this to your own community? You can't, because it's a contradiction. Another contradiction is when these black males sit online talking about they don't like black women wearing wigs and weave and makeup and lashes and nails and be requiring their mammy-ass partners to be looking all natural. Case in point, Derek Jackson sitting up here going, I don't like women wearing wigs and weave. Got his wife looking all dusty with that dusty-ass bonnet on, only to cheat on her with the woman wearing what? Wigs, lashes, makeup, nails. Look at her nails, looking like Freddy Krueger, okay? So these black men are constantly contradicting themselves.
I was like, to see you and think I'm attracted.
Oh, you look beautiful. Like, the dress is fire, yo.
You like it?
Yeah, swag.
Should be a red flag right there. He don't want your ass. He's sitting up here talking to you like you one of the homies. Talking about your wedding dress looks swag. I don't feel no romantic connection at all between these two.
Oh no, did he just say swag? I must say, that dress is simply fire. If you could like measure that dress in terms of like quantifiable heat, then I think it would be very high up on that chart.
Don't worry, because I'm very fluent in Brad, so let me translate what he said for those who may not have understood. What Brad is saying here is that the word swag is not good enough to describe a woman as beautiful as her, and that she looks very hot in her wedding dress. One of the things that I really like about non-black men is that when they flirt with you, they do so in very classy, tasteful, and sophisticated ways, okay? Like, they're not going to be sitting up here going, oh, what that mouth do, and just met you like 5 seconds ago.
So I'm an entrepreneur, so.
You're an entrepreneur. What do you do?
Entrepreneurial things.
I'm the youngest black franchise owner of a particular brand in Atlanta, and I should be closing on my first house next week. So I flip
Really?
properties now. Yeah.
Here, bye. If these Dusty's mouths are moving, they lying, okay? Because the fact that he's stuttering and having a difficult time describing what he does for a living, then it's obvious to me that he is either exaggerating what he does for a living or just flat out lying. We already know what you PPP loan scamming ass ninjas are doing, okay? That's why you sitting over here talking about you got all these businesses. You mean that empty chicken shack down the street that was supposed to be opened last year is still empty? I'm hungry. I want some chicken, damn it.
Normally, I would say great, that's good for him, but as you will see, this man is constantly lying about things. You might think that in this video, I'm being a little bit harsh on this guy. You know what, so far, he doesn't seem so bad. What's the big deal? Oh, just wait. In this next part, he talks about a tattoo that he has, and this really is the first sign that everything is going to be a total disaster.
Yo, it's a cross with a crown. King Jesus.
Let me see. That's dope. That looks fresh.
It is fresh.
When did you get it?
A couple days ago.
Oh. Why did you get that? What inspired you to get it?
To be perfectly honest with you,
Uh-oh.
last year, me and my ex, we got our names tatted on us.
What do the experts have to say about this? Oh, that's our bad. Sorry about that. We thought you wanted somebody that had a tattoo of their ex-fiance's name.
Should anybody be surprised here? Black women are notorious for having low standards, which is why all these dating shows are trying to match black women up with homosexuals, okay? And notice how they're only trying to push this agenda on black women. They're not pushing this on Becky, Ling Ling, or Esmeralda. They're sitting up in here trying to convince black women that it's good having low standards.
The funniest part is the fact that he ran out and got it covered up like the day before the wedding. Like, oh shit, I'm getting married tomorrow. I gotta go cover up that tattoo.
And I never had a chance to get it covered up. And I was like, I gotta do it now, so I had to do that.
What do you mean you never had a chance to do it? You chose to wait until right before the wedding, and you chose to be on this show to begin with.
My hypothesis as to why he did not get that tattoo covered up right away is because he was probably hoping and holding on to the hopes that him and his ex-fiance would still get back together, okay? If he was truly over his ex-fiance, he would have been had that tattoo covered up. Point blank, period.
Do you like dogs?
What kind of dog you have?
He's a Morkie. He's small.
Interesting.
Why?
Yeah, my ex had dogs. So.
Oh.
Yeah, my ex was great. Terrific person. You'll meet her someday, don't worry.
Why you keep talking about your ex-fiance, Ninja? That's weird. Okay, it's your wedding day. The bride is supposed to be the center of attention on the wedding day, not your ex-fiance, okay? Here she go trying to talk about herself. I like flowers. So does my ex-fiance. I got a dog. So does my ex-fiance. Yeah, she got a dog too. Like, Ninja, what you doing, okay? You still want her ass or something?
I was engaged.
Really?
Yeah, my last relationship was a few months ago, to be
What?
perfectly honest with you.
So already by this point, it should be pretty obvious that this guy is in no shape to be getting married right now.
You raggedy mammies don't want to listen to divestors when we tell you that your odds of finding a unicorn is slim to none. Here's a non-divested black woman hitting you upside the head with some statistics and facts.
In my own experience, it's typically been said that you need to date within your race and that you should find another black person to go proceed into marriage with, to create a family with, as to keep blackness sort of insular and stay within your race as far as dating pertains. And women, I guess, are no longer doing that. Young women, especially in this modern day and age, say, I want to date a guy who is making 6 figures and he's 6 foot or taller.
He's tall and he's bilingual. I'm short and I can't speak English good.
He's got a graduate degree. If you account and add in those metrics for finding a black man in particular to date, you're looking at 1 out of 250 odds, which is just crazy to think that you would find somebody with those odds and be able to build a long-term relationship with them.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Now, if you take all of that out and say, you know what, I just want to date all men of all races and see what I find, your odds go to 1 in 7.
Did you hear that, mammies? The ones that are constantly talking crap about divestors on your channels. If you want a high-quality black man to marry you right now, that's 1 in 250. If you interracially date, your odds of finding the man of your dreams ready to marry you, 1 in 7. So who's the ones looking stupid online? A lot of you mammies, when you sit there talking crap about divestors and acting like we don't know what we're talking about, okay? You're setting up your subscribers to fail. I'm setting up my subscribers to win.
I just don't really feel connected. I just wish he was like looking at me a little bit more, but I'm just hoping that this is nerves and that, you know, we can, you know, open up.
Look at this guy. He's so sad and uncomfortable. He looks like he's playing a game where if you look down, bad things will happen. He doesn't look happy to be there at all, and the way he talks to her gets more and more rude, and it's clear that he just doesn't really care about any of this and doesn't want to put any effort in.
And this is also why I am highly against women pursuing men, okay? Because if a man wants you, you're going to know. And you'd be shocked how many women were offended over my comments in my last video, the Judy Turner video, where I said that I don't agree with her getting on bended knee and proposing to her white liberal brat, okay? And I stand 10 toes down in everything I say, okay? And some women got offended over it. And I'm like, oh, well, that sounds like a you problem now, does it? Because I'm not going to sit up here paying no man's bills, taking him out to eat, getting on bended knee and all this crap like that. If that's what you want to do, you can go ahead and do that. But I have standards, okay?
So tell me the whole like engagement thing. You were just engaged a couple months ago. What happened?
I didn't trust her, and she didn't trust me.
Really?
I felt like I didn't have her undivided attention. I did have my friendships, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like I was missing companionship.
What? So he didn't have his ex's undivided attention? That's part of why he broke up with her? That doesn't sound like a good sign. And then he says he was missing companionships, so he had a lot of friendships, which makes me think that they weren't just friendships.
The only women in my husband's life is me, his mammy, and his sister, okay? I'm not going to tolerate a man having a bunch of female friends. It's quite obvious to me that he probably cheated on his ex-fiance, and that's why they're not together, okay? Because when it comes to these so-called high-value black males, you can best believe they have at least a 5-cat minimum, okay? They don't value marriage. They don't value commitment. They don't value monogamy. So no, these are not the type of men that I'm going to be picking from for boyfriends and husbands. Sorry, I can't. They're not going to be an option for me.
You'll notice as time goes on that Chris has no filter and never takes into account how somebody else is going to think or feel when he says something.
I don't have any baggage. I don't have no kids or nothing.
That is hilarious.
You got more baggage in the airport. Shut your regular ass up.
I am going to be honest with you about my shortcomings. Tell you what my weaknesses are. My ego used to be bad, but I don't really have a big ego.
Sure.
Ninja Bot, you definitely have an ego, which is why you was bragging about all the money, houses, and cars you got.
I try to learn from each relationship. stuff. So
There are certain times where Chris does know how to say the right things and eases the tension just enough to keep her around. But this dude saying that he doesn't have baggage is the funniest thing ever because his entire personality is his baggage. Maybe he doesn't have baggage because he is the baggage.
Oh, we're very familiar with these trash bag bandits over here, Brad. These so-called high-value black canes don't bring nothing but baggages of dust, disease, and death.
are you a virgin?
No.
Ninja, are you a virgin? And where's them updated paperwork saying that your ding-dong clean too? Since you want to ask all these personal questions.
What made you think that?
No, I was just asking. I don't know.
As you can see, this man is very romantic. He knows how to be quite smooth. You know, all they've really talked about so far is just his personal crap and then like what she does for a living, and that's about it. He hasn't asked anything about her personality or her interests.
Do you have a high sex drive?
I'm not gonna answer that question.
You can't. I've answered every question you've asked.
Yeah, well, her questions were normal, not insane.
Didn't I tell you that this is how these dust buckets be acting? Okay? They think it's completely normal to go up to a woman they've never met before and go, what that mouth do? Okay? It's because they don't have any class. That's why, okay? And I'm glad that this Brad is calling them out because in Brad's world, this sort of behavior is not considered acceptable, okay? These ninjas got zero game when it comes to talking to women.
I'm not gonna answer that question.
You can't. I've answered every question you've asked.
Yeah, well, her questions were normal, not insane. Now, maybe he thinks just because they're actually married, he can just jump right into asking very personal questions, where I think that you should actually build a relationship and a connection first. And it's especially off-putting how cold and inconsiderate he is in this situation. Not only are the questions wildly inappropriate, but he doesn't even seem to realize how she could be uncomfortable by it.
Are you on contraception?
Oh boy, look at the way she's looking at him. We see where this is going, okay? It's quite obvious that she's very smitten with him and probably thinking like, yeah, I'll have your baby. I want me some black chocolatey babies.
On this next part, Chris's dad sits down to talk to Paige, and it starts to make sense why Chris is the way he is. Not only is Chris asking some out-of-pocket questions, but his dad sits down and starts to ask her about their intimacy and how much she's going to satisfy him.
I'm not surprised that his pappy is also a weird sexual pervert, okay? In the black community, they don't have any boundaries. That's why they sit online talking about their son's D's and stuff like that. Look at Blueface mom, okay? Sitting on Instagram talking about the size of her son's you-know-what. It's because in the black community, that's considered normal, okay? They don't got no boundaries. They don't got no filters. But, again, we see that this is a generational dust.
She's amazing. She's very articulate. She's very accomplished. So two worlds will come together, and Chris and her will build an empire.
Oh my God, take it easy. They're on a reality TV show. They're not building anything.
He like, your ass ain't built nothing. You met her on a reality TV show. Shut up, okay? When it comes to non-black men, they know these dust buckets ain't building nothing, okay? Like, miss me with the BS. We tired of hearing about what y'all building. Y'all had decades and centuries to build shit, and y'all still ain't built nothing, okay? When it comes to non-black men, they know how to build actual generational wealth, okay?
When he comes home, he's exhausted.
Right.
He wants the touch of his wife. He wants to be intimate with his wife.
What the hell is he talking about? So as you can see, this man is clearly insane. Just putting aside how weird and creepy it is for him to comment on this, if they're both working, then what's the difference? You know, if they're both going out and working hard and then coming home, why is it her responsibility to make him relaxed or all this bullshit?
It's because they expect their black women to mule for them, okay? Not only do they expect their women to pay half of the bills, they expect you after working 2 shifts at your different jobs at Taco Bell and McDonald's. You gotta work all these jobs because his ass can't even stay afloat by himself. He needs you to stay afloat. After you get done working and you tired, you gotta come home and make him a sandwich and make him food and be submissive to me and rub my feet and do this and that. Make me a sandwich and I want sex 7 times a day and all this stuff. And I want submission and I need this and I want that. Okay? There is no benefits with getting with these dust buckets, okay? I don't see no benefit at all.
When he comes home, he's exhausted.
When he comes home after a long day of empiring, he's exhausted, you know, and he needs his wife's touch. The question is, are you gonna touch my son?
And he don't want that to be once a month, but he wants that to be once you understand and grow together. He wants it to be pretty consistent, you know? I mean, because after you work and you give out, you want to receive back.
All right, there's way too much to even unpack in this situation. I could sit here and talk about how deranged this is for like 10 minutes. All I can think is she's working too. She has a job, so she's also giving. What is really the difference here? Is it because he makes more, if that's even true? I think this guy has a really messed up view of what intimacy in a marriage is supposed to look like. He's not talking about it like it's a mutual thing that two people decide to do because they love each other. He's essentially saying that it's the wife's responsibility to give, and since the husband gives in other ways by working, in this instance, he is the receiver and he's the one who takes. It's not like a mutual thing they both do.
Talking about sex with your daughter-in-law is the most disgusting, evasive thing you could possibly do. This is a photo of me, my husband, and my father-in-law. And I have a really good relationship with my father-in-law. I talk to him at least every other week. So he's very much a part of my life. I spend a lot of time with my in-laws, okay? And he has never asked me any inappropriate questions. My father-in-law is a retired computer engineer for NASA. So when we're talking, we're normally talking about science, biology, world religion, politics, stuff like that, okay? He ain't asking me, are you pleasing my son?
In this next part, Chris talks to all of Paige's bridesmaids, and it goes as poorly as you would expect.
So Paige is different from the type of women that I'm used to. You know?
So like, what are the type of women you used to?
The opposite of Paige. Like the real pretty girls, but you fronting everything, you paying for everything type thing.
Cleon forehead ass complaining about his wife not being attractive. Sir, she is far out of your league.
Oh, so you've never dated someone that's like at your level, like?
No. He's only dated people on his level. Don't level him up right here. He doesn't deserve to be leveled up. He's still stuck in the undead asylum.
You don't shut your thirsty, desperate, mammy looking ass up, okay? Worry about them edges. Them edges looking kind of dry, like you need some vitamin E or something like that. You sitting up here trying to level up this man, okay? These mammies are always trying to level up these remedial nakers because they don't got no standards.
Again, you'll notice him complaining about his past relationships, saying that the women were shallow or superficial or something like that, and that they were only interested in his money. But then that's the first thing you say in your wedding vows, bro. Like, what do you expect? You know, that makes you seem pretty materialistic, which is fine if that's what you want to be, but that means you're probably going to gravitate towards those kinds of relationships, whether you realize it or not.
I enjoyed our conversation the first time after we said I do. Paige, she is probably the woman that I need, but not the woman that I wanted.
She looking like, I knew your ass was dusty.
Wanted versus needed, like, explain that to us.
I think on paper, like, it's there, but marriage is more than just careers and money, you know what I'm saying?
So at this point, it starts to become more clear that he doesn't really like Paige and isn't attracted to her, which it seems kind of odd. I don't know why he tries to act like he's out of her league. At one point, he says that he's not sure if he's decided he's going to sleep with her or not, as if it's just a given that she wants to.
It's because these black males expect all black women to want them, which is why they don't like divestors, because that's the first time they asses ever heard the word no, we don't want you, okay? So no, I'm not surprised at all that he automatically expects her to put out because let's face it, these dusty black males always have an endless supply of beautiful, attractive, intelligent black women to ruin and destroy.
I'm not 100% attracted to her. Like when I saw her initially, it was like, this is different from what I'm used to. But it doesn't mean that that's just because that's what I'm not used to.
He's saying that as soon as he saw her, he's like, oh shit, this is not what I'm used to. What is that supposed to mean? It seems like he's saying that he's used to women that are more attractive, and it's insane because the show basically set him up with someone who is successful, mature, and beautiful, and he's like, this sucks.
This makes the second time this Brad mentions how beautiful and successful this woman is. Meanwhile, in Blackistan, these dusty-ass nakers and mammies are telling black women, the white man don't want you. But the reality is non-black men have been very vocal about their attraction to black women. So ladies, go where you are wanted and appreciated.
I think that she's beautiful in her own way. I think that she's beautiful in her own way.
Why do you have to add the in her own way part? Like, that doesn't... Come on, dude.
And you look like a whole bumpy head Cleon from Star Trek in your own way, okay?
Here's where things start to get really bizarre. So they go back to their room and they actually have a pretty good night together. It seems like for the most part they're getting along. Then it is revealed the next morning that they did indeed consummate the marriage multiple times. According to Paige, they both woke up around 8:30 or 9 and Chris went to get breakfast for both of them and then disappeared for like 3 hours and she didn't know where he went. She eventually found him just wandering the halls of the hotel and then he informed her that he had a panic attack and had to just get away.
Heck, she's the one that should be having a panic attack right now because these ninjas have the highest HIV rates in our country. Hope their ass used a condom. Women need to stop equating sex with love, okay? Just because a man has sex with you, that doesn't mean he wants or loves you. So after they consummated the marriage multiple times, he has a panic attack and goes missing for hours.
So yeah, he had a panic attack while he was going to get the breakfast menus, and wait till you hear his reason for the panic attack.
I'm still not all the way good.
So what is exactly troubling you, I guess?
So to be perfectly honest with you, like, I think that on paper, like, we are like you're everything that I need. But like, I don't think that the attraction is fully there yet for me, to be perfectly honest.
Now keep in mind that they have already been intimate multiple times, and then he decides to tell her this the next day. But yeah, we're supposed to sit around and feel bad for Chris because he had a panic attack about not being that attracted to her. At no point does he ever consider how this might make her feel.
That's what has had me panicking, like what the you know?
Dude, I can't hear anything. Enough with the vocal fry.
If he had that conversation with me last night, before we even touch, kiss, whatever, I would have been at peace with that. I am so confused. I've never been with a man who wants to have sex multiple times that didn't desire me or didn't find me attractive.
He done knocked the wig sideways off her head. Where's the stylist at, okay? Why y'all got her out here looking all raggedy? Again, let me reiterate that women need to stop associating sex with love, because there's a lot of men out there who will have sex with women they're not even physically attracted to. When men have sex, they can cut off all emotional connections to the woman they're using for sex. Whereas with women, when they have sex with men, they grow even more attached to that man. That is why it's so important to practice standards and boundaries when it comes to the type of men you are dating, okay? Don't forget that he initially wanted a virgin, so he would have took her virginity, pumped and dumped her, okay? When it comes to these black males, they're always online talking about, and we want virgins. Meanwhile, they got multiple baby mamas, the highest HIV STD rates in the country, talking about, and we want virgins and stuff like that. Like, give me a break, all right? It's giving delusional. Nobody wants y'all asses with their virgin daughters.
This is hopefully the time where you realize, oh, you were not too tough on this guy at all. If anything, you've been taking it easy on this guy. Like she said, it would have been one thing if he was honest with her from the start. I don't think anybody can necessarily blame somebody for not being attracted to somebody if they can't control it. At the same time, you're signing up to get married to a stranger, so it's a given that you're going to have to accept some flaws or some unexpected things. But she is the one who has been dealt the shit hand in this situation, and he does not seem to understand that at all.
And that's why we don't want shit to do with their ass. Of course, black women who are not divested choosing to deal with these dust buckets are getting the shit end of the stick.
So on this show, it's normal for them to have breakfast with their spouse's family the next morning. And at this breakfast, Paige tells them that she's confused by the mixed messages and the fact that they were intimate, and then he said he wasn't attracted to her. Now, they do see it from her point of view a little bit, but obviously are also pretty quick to defend Chris. And of course, then, what do you know? Chris uses this as an excuse to get upset with her for revealing their personal details or whatever.
Ninja Bob, get your crying dusty ass up, okay? Nobody feels sorry for you. How you gonna be sitting up here crying like a little bitch and you the one pumping and dumping and wasting women's time?
Why are you crying?
So what bothered me the most was I ain't never talked about my sex life as an adult with my parents. It was weird.
Dude, your dad sat down with her and talked about it. That was the weirdest shit ever.
Whatever, Ninja. I'm not convinced at all that you were embarrassed talking about sex with your parents. That's why your parents felt comfortable asking her all those evasive-ass questions. His father probably knows the color of her bunghole and what their mouth do now.
If Chris wasn't so horrible up until now, I could kind of see the point where you shouldn't talk about these kinds of details with your family. But this is already a very unusual situation, and I can imagine she would feel kind of helpless and want to talk to your family about it.
With all due respect, like, I did not want to have sex coming into yesterday, but I wanted to feel a closeness to my wife. Maybe, you know, I would generate some type of attraction.
You have to be a whole sociopath to be sitting up here sleeping with people you're not attracted to. And I'm not buying his excuse that he was just trying to do this so they can bond. Like, I'm not buying it. No, you knew you wasn't attracted to this woman and you slept with her anyway. Probably because you wanted to use her for sex and you knew you was gonna dump her.
That's really nice. Now she has to hear that he didn't even want to do it to begin with. So the whole thing was just, he just regrets the whole thing, I guess. Him saying that he wanted to feel closeness with his wife or build some kind of attraction, that's all just an excuse. That's not the case at all.
Girl, cheer up. Everything is gonna be okay, all right? And in reality, you dodged a bullet. Because what if you were married to this man for 10, 15, 20, 50 years? secrets and you just now found out that he was cheating on you the whole time with women that didn't even look like you because you were never his type. This is the reality of a lot of black women in our country and around the world, actually, okay? So count yourself lucky. This is not the end of the world. You will grow. You will rise above this like a phoenix, okay? You're absolutely beautiful and you're absolutely stunning. So that's all I got to say about this because I need to get ready to go out to dinner with my Brad. If you like this video, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe for more content below. Thanks for watching. I stayed eating on that lobster and that pasta. Okay?